I mean, really, where I was leaving a lot of room is on the brakes.
Yeah,
the easiest way to pace somebody is to be on the brakes early, and then mid corner off is staying like 3/4 throttle, which is like 95% of what the car will do.
Yeah.
So there's not a ton left.
Yeah, mid corner speed, I wouldn't think there's a lot of it. I mean,
no,
it's just going to start sliding if anything. So, but yeah, I figured the brakes, that was kind of.
Yeah,
where were you going to fourth gear? On the front straight and on that back straight?
Yeah, the back straight and the front straight. I didn't realize we got the pace, or else I'd have told you.
I was touching the limiter through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to. I just didn't realize we were going to get going that fast, that quick.
I didn't either.
But
that's
that's
having fun.
Well, I wasn't. We were fine. I mean, you know, as long as someone's online and not doing anything funny, we just keep going. That's like I said, these things don't do anything really evil. But that would be the third place you'd go in the fourth. And try and short shift it just before you turn in on the bend. Just go ahead and grab fourth there. Yeah. But what it means, you got to go back down to third.
Yeah, no, that's hustling too. Yeah,
because that corner's quick. Yeah, that's a fun corner.
On a motorcycle on that back straight, it's fifth. You're fifth before that fast right, and you just bang fourth into that where you're grabbing fourth. You bang back, and then you go third in that switchback. And if you get in too much when you go back to third, the rear end will, same thing in the car, but on the motorcycle it's pretty sketchy. It's in the rear. You
can actually do fourth gear on the left-hander and go down into third than in that tight right-hander, but you're better off having the
engine brake,
right, being able to use the throttle to get the car to move. If you use a fourth gear,
there's nothing.
There's not enough to help.
But if it does start sliding, you can't probably keep it going, or
exactly. So it's best to go down to third, but it makes it a kind of a quick area. You gotta just because all you're doing is you're on the brakes long enough to make the gear change, and then you're right back on the gas.
Yeah, I felt a couple corners that like you said, understeer. The only time I actually, oversteered at all coming out was on the last lap out of that left-hander onto the back straight. I kind of got in there hot and it started sliding, but that was pretty much it. I was surprised with grip for street tires.
Yeah, and this is like BF Goodrich's third best street tire. I mean, this is a kind of a mid-range performance tire. But for a student, I mean, you getting up to speed wasn't surprising. We get folks that this is more of a Walter Mitty thing. Just always wanted to do it. Check it off their list. And if you don't have if you got the limits too high, they'll never get there.
Oh yeah. What do these have done to them? Just like intakes and exhaust, or
little bit. It's short tube headers, a Borla exhaust, reflashed ECU, and a cold air intake.
It's got a short throw shifter too.
Short throw shifter, yeah.
I felt that leaving pit lane. I was like, oh, that's
well, and it's got a 410 gear.
Yeah. Okay.
It's only making probably 25 more horsepower than stock.
Yeah. But the gear ratio makes it feel a whole lot more.
Yeah. It's geared perfect for what we got here. But the majority of what makes this car what it is the spring shocks and sway bars. It's got a strut brace. So when you get into a stock Mustang, we've got a stock Mustang as our pace car. It's like driving a damn marshmallow.
Especially with those tires you get in the corner. So.
Exactly.
And it's hard, like, because when just kind of clipping the curbs going down the attitudes, it's so much different in a car because you have all that room over there, and you're like, a couple of times I thought I was going to hit them and didn't, and then I got on them and I was, it's different.
Well, going down the hill, if we started to really, if we wanted to set some lap time, you'd start using up the first one a little bit. The second one you start nibbling at, and then the third one, if you, and I don't want to knock down the cones that are sitting there.
I saw those. Those are in my way right there.
But you can, on the third one, you can actually ramp up and down without transition. So you either need to use all of the curb.
Yeah, because you're going to bounce up it and land on the downside of it.
Right, if you bounce it, it just puts you half a car width to the right coming down the hill. So, but these things, you want to try and stay off the curbs for the most part.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in the Agony and Ecstasy going up the hill towards the Attitudes.
Yeah.
If the car's not turning very well, you can get the left front. If you can get it down to the bottom and put it up on the curb, it'll actually put wedge in the car and help it turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a little berm on the inside. You can hook it around the inside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you even play with heel and toe?
No, not. I mean, I was grabbing shifts, but I was doing it right when I was going to the brakes, and I was thinking about it when we first started, but then we started going quicker and quicker. But the braking zones we were being pretty mellow in them, but I just I'll kind of play around with it a little bit. I don't think it's weird, like when you're for me, if I tried to learn on the street, it'd be harder to learn than on the track, because when you're on the track, everything's more positive, brake or gas, and on the street, you're never on the brake that hard, you know, really to really, you know, learn it. Once I think you learn it and then you go back to that, it'd be a little easier. But
well, you're exactly right. If you because the practice is to pivot your foot on the brake pedal under threshold or near threshold.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're using 30% brake or 40% brake, it's virtually impossible to get leverage for the throttle. So
yeah, because on the street you're not braking that hard, and then when you make that transition, you're gonna stab the brake a little bit.
It's difficult too. Exactly. I assume you do the exact same process on the bike.
Well, we did. Yeah, our bikes have a blipper system now where we don't even touch the clutches. So we just hit a shift and it blips it for you.
Okay.
You know, it's just like you going back to third, but the car blips the throttle for you.
No
so
different
it's just like an F1 car basically. Right. But we used to, and sometimes I do. It depends if I'm having a problem with the bike backing in or, you know, things like that. But once they set it, but then you get some problems too when if you get the thing backing in too much where it throws the speeds of the sensors off, or you get the rear wheel off the ground, it'll blip for you when you don't want it to. Like you already be in second gear going in the corner and you brake and the rear tire comes off the ground and it throws the system off a little bit, and as soon as it touches the ground it goes boom and it'll throw you into the corner.
There's some nice timing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, thanks. Right, I've already ran it in too hot, the rear tire's off the ground, and now you're going to give me some extra juice in the corner. That's happened a couple times in races, but no, it's better in the end.
But conceptually, when you come in, you have in your mind kind of what, even though you haven't necessarily practiced it.
Oh, yeah, I know what it is. I've just never done it, you know.
Because that a lot of times is the hardest part is to talk to somebody and explain what they're doing, and to get them to wrap their brain around, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't I just stick it in the right gear and
yeah.
the clutch up?
But the way these corners are laid out and the way the back shifts are, I think it would be easier to learn on this course, you know, because it's always the same gear and pretty much the same RPM from fourth to third, you know, because if you leave it in third, you're going to be in the same time of the limiter there as there, you know, so.
Well, on these, the easiest way I found to do it is try not to get into matching revs. Rev the car up too much, and then let the clutch out on the way down.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to get everything timed perfectly, if you can, because especially these things, they got rev limiters, you can't hurt these motors. Yeah. Is give a really good solid rev of the motor, and then catch the clutch on the way down.
Yeah, exactly.